Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. For us, it is 11 p.m. at night, and welcome to Sofa Review, or Casting Couch. I'm hearing people want to do that. Let's put a poll up there. If you decide to call it Casting Couch, we'll have to figure it out. I mean, yeah, basically...
A poll's a poll.
Yeah, a poll's a poll. We'll do Casting Couch, Sofa Review, and then any other name. But yeah, welcome to whatever this is going to be called. You liked it for the Europa League game, so we're going to stick with it, and we're going to do these every game. And yeah, we'll talk about it. Bob Marley in the background, Lewis on my right hand side or your left, Jack on my left hand side or on your right hand side, and yeah, enjoying what I don't know. I've only got mugs in my flat at the minute, so mugs of water. After watching a bit of Friday night dinner and relaxing.
Yeah, great show.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? But gents. West Ham 0, Chelsea 0. This is going to be a quick review, isn't it?
Exactly.
Look, where do we start? Talk to me.
We came, we saw, we left.
Yeah.
That is pretty much it.
There we go.
Okay. Don't forget to subscribe. No, what we need to do is we need to talk for 10 minutes because I want to put mid-rolls in and put more money, make more money.
Oh yeah, classic.
Of which we do not have any. But anyway, look, let's go through the team first. Starting 11. Kepa in goal. You had Dave at right back. Mm-hmm. You had Rudiger and Luiz as the two centre halves. You had Alonso at left back. You had Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic as the three midfielders. And then you had Willian, Hazard, and Giroud as the front three. Basically, an unchanged team apart from one change, which was Pedro for Willian.
Do you mean from the last Prem game?
From the last Prem game, sorry, yeah. Willian, I didn't think was up to it today, personally. I think he kept slowing down play.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be totally honest with you. He was one of the better players on Thursday, and the fact that he played, if I'm not wrong in saying he played all of the game, if he didn't, and fair play to him, and I thought it was quite positive today.
Yeah, no,
it was positive. He wasn't particularly like amazing today, which is understandable, but I didn't think he was bad. I thought he was probably one of the most positive players today. Yeah. I mean, call me up on it if I'm wrong, but it's just personal opinion, really.
Yeah, no. That's fair enough. I mean, to be honest, like you're saying, he played a full 90 at the weekend on Thursday. Sorry, therefore was probably absolutely shattered.
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying on your review for your channel, you know,
Yeah.
there's the whole thing. You know, professional footballers should be able to play 2 games in 2 weeks, but for the intensity that we play. And to do that in 4 days, I think that's a bit different. That's not 2 weeks. That's not week. That's 4 days.
Well, they said there was a bit of disruption with the flights, wasn't there, coming back from Greece? So I mean, that could have been another factor. You know, just putting them out of their rhythm a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, maybe that's not excusable anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's going to be a. I think. To be honest, Alonso as well. I mean, the whole season I've not personally been sold on him, but.
I mean, totally honestly, I think he's been one of our best performers.
Well, no, he has been. This thing, going forward, he has been. But as a full-back, today I thought he was too narrow, one. Secondly, I thought, you know, he was a bit of a passenger today. I didn't see him do anything.
Yeah, I got to agree there, yeah.
But again, even though he didn't play the full 90 on Thursday, it's questionable that potentially that's another thing. It's another example of a player that should have been rested. I mean, we left Emerson at home.
That was stupid.
Yeah, it was.
That was stupid.
Why did we leave Emerson at home when realistically he should have played that game in the Europa League? He's come to Chelsea. He came last January. He's probably sitting there going, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
Yeah.
He was the second best left back behind Alexandro. I mean, obviously Alexandro was the best by far in the Serie A last year. You know, obviously he had his ACL injury, but pre that he was superb. He's come to Chelsea, obviously heavily touted as a great fullback, and he's not playing. He should have played.
Yeah, it's one of those things though, really. But that's kind of more like, that's kind of discussing the Thursday game more though, which we've already done. But yeah, don't get me wrong, we should have started him.
Yeah, but I mean, it had a knock-on effect. But I mean, what else have we got to talk about? Well, should we talk about Kepa and how I think he's gone under the radar? I think.
Yeah, he kind of kept us in the game today.
I thought, what do you think?
When it came to Kepa, this is another one of those games where you say he didn't have a lot to. He was called out at some points, and he did do his job well. but he didn't have a lot to do today. West Ham were mainly focused on sitting deep, frustrating us in the final third and hitting us with counters. And whenever they did, their chances were very few and far between. They didn't really start looking like they were going to take any of those chances.
He made some smart saves, though.
He did, yeah.
Especially that one on the near post. That was a great save.
What, late in the second half?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great save.
From where I saw, I thought that went wide. Just off the side of the post. Did he get to that?
Yeah. I think he might have saved it with his legs.
He made a couple of really great saves. I think, speaking of misses, let's talk about our centre of defence and how David Luiz basically let Yarmolenko get a free header, which he should have
scored. We're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I think to basically, I was alright with this show. I'm torn between doing it as a weekly thing, we round off the week on a Sunday, or if we do it after every game. That's not what you think in the comments. But ironically, there's a guy on Twitter who basically hoped I was one of the Chelsea fans that got hurt, basically saying, you know, the usual stuff, death threats, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not dead yet, so it's fine. So fuck you. But other than that, you know, he's there going, I don't like how you critique David Luiz. But unfortunately, I think it's only fitting that he is critiqued.
I'll be totally honest with you. No, the amount I've seen so many people at the football talk about David Luiz and this and the other, not in the best of ways so far this season. So I mean, there's still a lot of people out there who are a little bit on the fence with him. I
mean, there was one opportunity where he was all the way at the other end of the pitch. You had Jorginho filling in when we needed that creative edge, and you know positionally he was horrible, and in terms of watching his man as well, I'm talking PTP, post to post, all that sort of thing. You know, we had. You know, he was so flat-footed. He wasn't really keeping an eye on his man, I felt, and if he did, you know, he just kept too far away from him. Luiz is not a central defender, and we've been saying this since when we signed him the first time round. I mean, Christensen had to come in, but then obviously today Gary Cahill came into the side, which I thought was quite interesting.
He wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad, no, he wasn't. I thought he did all right. He did a solid, but I think, you know, obviously Rudiger was someone who was ruled out for that game, for the Liverpool game apparently. But apparently it's only him a few days. He probably will be rested though, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Is it time Christensen gets the opportunity to kind of bring himself into the fore, or do you think he's not going to see that game time at the minute?
I still think it's a bit too early to tell with Christensen. I'd say we wait till Wednesday, because I'd be surprised if he doesn't play against Liverpool. Especially now Rudiger's injured and needs time off. Cahill will probably be starting. David Luiz has now played on today. I doubt he'll be playing on Wednesday. It makes sense for Christensen to get some game time.
Yeah, I agree. I think it makes a lot of sense.
I think we all want it at the end of the day. I think any Chelsea fan just wants Christensen to get game time.
I think that's pretty standard, isn't it? But yeah, what else can we talk about? What else is there to analyse? Oh yeah, Morata and Giroud. So I got sent a video earlier by Ben, and he literally just focused on Morata, where the guy was literally just ball watching the entire time. And here's the question. I understand people say give him time. He's had time, he's had a year. And you can't have bad form for a year. That's not form anymore.
That's true.
And then he's also, bearing in mind, people saying he's not had the service, he's not had this, he's not had that, X, Y and Z. He's had the service. Service
is I don't like the word service, because Giroud makes his own service.
Exactly.
And there's no reason why Morata can't do that. And there was nobody complaining about Giroud getting service. Funny enough, he happened to get service the first game he started the season. What a coincidence. Well, yeah, he just got in the right positions.
Exactly. And this thing, Morata just kept ball watching. He was in the wrong positions every single time I saw him today. And this isn't me just hating on him. This is me just sitting there and this is what I see every week.
I think for the better of his career, he should probably look for another club. Maybe a club that suits him better in terms of the style of play.
Yeah, probably just needs to go back to Italy.
I just think it's really damaging for his career. I don't really want him to waste away at Chelsea. I want him to do well. I really do, but it's hard. It's like what you were saying. You know, you tweeted out a few days ago. Sometimes it's hard to defend.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You remember me at the start of the season, I was saying that we should give Morata a second chance. But the thing the thing that I'm seeing is that I'm starting to see from both sides. Like from your side, whenever he has the ball, there's just not a lot of influence and impact whenever he has the ball.
Exactly.
You barely even see him on the ball to begin with. But that's where it goes on to the other side, because one thing I've noticed from watching us play is that we play very differently with Morata than we do Giroud. Morata will make the runs in behind and we have to put balls over the top. We'll play the ball to Giroud's feet, which is why people talk about service when it comes to Morata, which is why I see both sides. But then you look at games like Thursday and you just think, seriously, is it a confidence thing or is this just your level?
It literally is Torres 2.0. I think I can see it is a... Go on.
Yeah, but Torres actually wasn't too bad in the end.
No,
and he scored one of the most important goals.
Exactly. That goal alone was worth 50 million quid.
Yeah.
But the main question here is now, let's be honest, we go to somewhere else, we are not going to recoup the money we spent.
No.
You're not going to get 60 million quid. But so I think, to be honest, for me, for the betterment of his career, he needs to leave.
Fiorentino Perez is laughing right now.
I wouldn't blame him. But this is the thing, when people say Morata was absolutely astounding and all that kind of stuff, and you made this point to me when we first signed him, I was gassed. I'm going to level with you now. I thought it was a great signing. He scored a lot of goals.
We had like 2 videos on it. Remember that?
Yeah, I was really happy. The one we had, it was you two. We had Craig in there as well. Everyone just losing their shit over Morata. But yeah, I mean, we brought him in. We thought it was great. Obviously, he had an amazing goal scoring season with Real Madrid the previous season. But to be honest, all of those goals were from the bench. He's an impact player, one. And secondly, when people talk about him being amazing at Juventus and all of that, he scored 8 goals in 2 years. The only reason people thought that he was so good was because he scored against Bayern and he scored against Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Yes, I understand they're both massive, massive games. But 8 goals. 8. He scored 10 for us last year, which is better, obviously, averaging out.
Look, what happened, God, my voice went to another octave. But what I find hard to understand is just Morata, when he first came to us, he was so good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we remember that game against Stoke when he scored that hat-trick. I mean,
sideways stance, wasn't it? Was it that the first?
Oh, yeah, sideways stance, yeah. And he was quality. Like, he was really good that day, and it's just weird to see how he's tailed off. I'll be fair to him today because Giroud wasn't amazing today. So I don't want to completely dig out Morata. So because Giroud, but just based on today, if I'm just saying it based on today, obviously we've chatted about other games, but I it's what we've said, isn't it? It's just what we've said. I think Giroud is, well, for me, obviously I prefer to start Giroud than the other. He's an assist man, and as long as we can get goals anyway from that, well, are we good? Right? Imagine if Morata, I wouldn't be too fussed to be honest with you. If Morata was really good at assisting, if Morata constantly assisted players and we scored goals and won football matches as a result of that, I'd be like, okay, it's not really his job, but he's creating goals, which is a major thing. But he doesn't seem to really do that either.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree. I think, to be honest, look, if he was supplying or he was influencing the game, I think we'd all be agreeing in, he'd be helping us out. But currently, you just don't see that.
I think we can all agree though. We want the best from Morata.
Of course.
Simple as.
Of course.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, it's as much as people think I just despise the man. I don't despise him. This is I am tough love incarnate. I kind of sit there and I want someone to do really well.
Yeah.
But I'm not just going to sit there and say give it time when they've had plenty of time. They've had loads of opportunities. You want to sit there and you want to say no, right, come on now. This is getting stupid. He scored 1 goal this year and that was 4 or 5 weeks ago. And people are going, but give him the chance, give him the opportunity. He's done that. Let him build on it. He's had 4 or 5 weeks to build on it, and he hasn't. I mean, PLK was a prime example. But we're getting drawn off track. We're just bitching about Morata again. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, to be fair, we're talking about Giroud. We're talking about Morata, not influencing the game. In fact, no one really influenced the game today, including Hazard, who obviously was rested against PLK. Came in today. Someone said, I think it was CFC Alonso, wasn't it? He said that Hazard was invisible today. He was a ghost. Is that fair?
I will say that I think decision making from him in the final third could have improved. There was 2 or 3 opportunities I remember where we were screaming at him to shoot, and he went for the little flick. But I won't say it was a terrible performance from him. We'll say by his standards, it wasn't a good performance. But if you're looking at overall in the game, it wasn't the worst of performances. He had to drop deep to receive the ball a lot. And like we said, West Ham made it very difficult for not just him, but everyone in the final third.
Yeah.
I'm not calling it a bad game from Hazard, only by his standards. I think, obviously, he's played better games, but I'm not going to say he didn't have any impact or no influence.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the biggest thing for me, which I think we've all glazed over, is the fact that, let's be honest, West Ham, the way they sat today, the way they played, fair play to them. Because they did exactly what they needed to do to get a result.
Pellegrini set up really well. It's the same thing, what was it? They exposed a gap in our team, which was the space behind the fullbacks. They always like to press forward. They know we like to have a lot of the ball, so they gave us the ball, and they only really frustrated us or came out to challenge us in the final third. That's the reason why it was made so difficult for us. They played to our weaknesses, and the team was tired enough as it was. So that makes sense. We were both talking about draws before this.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've had a thought about this before, but I kind of wanted somebody to do an analysis of the way Chelsea perform on different sized pitches. Because I don't know why, but I feel that the smaller pitch that Chelsea play on, the better we play. And the bigger the pitch is, we're not as creative.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think we know who can do that. Nini FC, mate. There's a cue. Can you get us
on
the analysis of how that all works, and then obviously you can make Jack happy. And
I could be totally wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's something I want to know. It'd be
I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, legally, don't all pitches in the Premier League have to be the same size?
Legally, but it's a case of if your stadium can have one that size, then it has to be. Like if you're making a new stadium, then now the pitch has to be that size. But in case of promoted sides or sides that don't have that size pitch, it's okay until they make a new ground, and then they have to make it to that specific size.
So our pitch, obviously, we are very small in comparison to other top 6 clubs.
Yeah.
Is not the same size as Man United, for example, or Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not United. Actually, I don't know if United.
Well, I think that's right, because let's be honest, a lot of these stadiums that I'm thinking about are stadiums which have not really changed massively in terms of pitch size, and they've been relatively the same size, which is the time where pitch sizes were different. Do you know what I'm saying? So, for example, Old Trafford is a bigger pitch than ours, but it's been that way for ages, and ours has been a smaller pitch for a long time as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's an interesting thing, because I would have thought potentially maybe that's why we weren't performing so well against West Ham today, and maybe that's why in a few other games we haven't. It's just something to throw into the mixer.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, obviously leave your thoughts on that down below. Obviously, please at Nini on Twitter and tell him that Jack wants a video on pitch size, and if that makes a difference. Because let's be honest, as much as we love our football, we are very hearts in the sleeve type. Nini's the analysis guy, so we'll leave that to him. We'll probably try and get into it at some point, and maybe do the odd analysis video. But we wanted him to do it with us. So but I mean, what else we've got to talk about? West Ham. Obviously, we said they played well. We played average. This is one thing that I do want to address. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. Today, on Twitter, obviously after the game, Facebook, so other social media platforms, reading the comment section, there was a lot of people I read, talking about the 2 points dropped type thing, all that kind of stuff, and it is 2 points dropped. Let's just say that. Mathematically it is. In the grand scheme of things, in a 38-game season, is this going to be such a big thing? Well,
we've got Liverpool next week, so it could change things anyway.
Yeah.
It could either be really bad for us, or we could go top potentially based on how we play against Liverpool in terms of goals and how City play against whoever they're coming up against.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I don't think it will.
No, Luke?
Well, my thoughts about where I thought we were going to finish when the season started, and to be honest, I feel a bit more optimistic now. I do think we have a genuine chance of top 4, maybe even top 3. With the way clubs like Manchester United are playing, there's obviously a chance for us. But over the grand scheme of things, this season was always going to be a transitional season. So there's always going to be games like this where it's going to be frustrating and it doesn't look like anything's working. But you understand it. You understand it with a season like this, and you just got to roll with the punches and hope we end up in a better position. I'm not that angry about this performance, mainly because we expected it, and as great as we're playing going forward and everything, there are still mistakes in this team. We've seen it. We've seen little holes in the side that other teams haven't exposed. And now with a fixture pile up coming up, things are starting to get a little bit tougher for us.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, like I keep saying, take it a game at a time, roll with the punches, and see where we are in a couple months. Sarri just said in his press conference that it's going to take us over a year to be near the likes of Liverpool. It's obvious. It's a transitional season.
This is it as well. But I mean, at the same time, Liverpool were able to change up their style of football and how they're playing. For me today, I understand it's a traditional period. I completely agree with everything you're saying. Like, it is going to take time for us to see this product of Sarri ball, which everyone seems to rave about and bang on about. And it took them 3 years to take Napoli to where they were last year.
Yeah.
So completely agree. Completely see where you're at. There's sometimes though I was sat there going, they're so devoted to this system that just for that extra little push, why couldn't someone just hoof it and someone try and hold it up and bring others into play, and instead of trying to just keep it on the floor? Do you know what I mean?
I get that, but so early into Sarri's reign at Chelsea, I personally wouldn't want to change it, mainly because you want them to understand this style of play. You don't want them after a couple games to be like, okay, this is working, now we've got to try this, and they've got to learn something completely different on the stage.
Yeah.
I kind of get it.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I get that.
Yeah. I mean, but what do you think?
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sound
I mean,
we all
you
agree.
two summed it up perfectly.
Well, there we go. Right, well, I think we covered everything. And as it's in front of me, obviously make sure if you are at Stamford Bridge or whatever game, make sure you go see Dave, Sammy, whoever, CSC UK, only £1.
Hurry up.
Hurry up. That's too right. But yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to 100 and Chelsea, all social media stand description, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. You've got Jack's Twitter and Instagram here, you've got mine here, and you've got Lewis's there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Let us know what you want this show to be called. Is it going to be called Casting Couch? Oh, God forbid. Is it going to be called Sofa Review? Or put your other comments and what you think down in the description. There's so much more to come this season on the channel. We are now all completely back. So, let's get this going. We'll see you guys for Liverpool on Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday, if we're feeling snappy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, we've got to do something on Tuesday anyway, haven't we?
We do, to be fair, we do. But guys, make sure you subscribe. We'll see you very soon. And out the Chelsea. Ta-ra.